to get us started with our evening festivities here. My name is Kathy Sue, and I serve as the board chair for the KCC Foundation. And I am thrilled to be here. And I would like to welcome all of you back from a wonderful dinner. That was fabulous, wasn't it? On that note, I would like to thank the staff here at Battle Creek Country Club. They do a phenomenal job. The club looks great, dinner was wonderful, and we appreciate it very much. Also, thank you to the jazz ensemble. You all are fabulous. So they're going to come back and finish up for us Minor Element Jazz Band with Brandon Fitzpatrick. Is it Braulio Green? Say it again. Braulio Green, and then Dominique Paul Taylor. I would also like to acknowledge my former board members, Dr. Bona, John Melgis, who's my vice chair, Steve Claywell, who also serves as the board chair for the trustees, Jill Booth, John Dilworth, Eric Green, and Drew Schweitzer. And while Dennis plans to thank the donors, I would also like to echo this by saying your support does more than help the students pay for college. Through the KCC Foundation, students experience opportunities that can change the trajectory of their lives. Shortly you will hear from 4 presenters who share their stories to reflect this. And if you have not been to this dinner, it is heartfelt and gut-wrenching, and it's wonderful to hear the stories. It really, really is. This year, the KCC Foundation has awarded over $500,000 in scholarships. I want to say that again. 5 with 6 zeros after it. That's a lot. This represents 320 scholarships to 255 students. That's huge. That is. Each scholarship application is reviewed by a foundation member team, or foundation review team, made up of KCC employees, community members, and some of you that are in this room this evening. Moving forward, the KCC Foundation is excited to explore new opportunities with donors and students. This includes working on new fundraisers, so be ready to write some checks. Vigorous alumni outreach, got a lot of alumni in the room, including myself. Expanding relationships through the college's service area, and an online scholarship process, which I think will really be wonderful, and more donor connections and ways to celebrate the success of our scholarship program. This could all not be possible without the strong commitment to you donors that are here in the room, and we really do sincerely appreciate that. You're our community partners with our students, and together you empower people to meet the immeasurable reward of education. So I am going to now turn this over to Teresa. Teresa Durham is our executive director, and she's done a wonderful job, and she has been so helpful to me, and I so appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. At your place, you will find the scholarship program. Please take that with you this evening. As you leave, inside has the listing of all of our scholarship recipients and our donors who provide such fabulous opportunities for students to reach their educational goals. So please take a look at that. Many of our students here tonight will find their names in that program, and for those that aren't here, they also know and are well acknowledged. It is my pleasure to introduce the speakers for this evening. Our first presenter is KCC trustee and alumnus Jonathan D. Byrd. John is a lifelong resident of Calhoun County and a proud father of 3 future Bruins. John is a product of Battle Creek and Marshall Public Schools and a graduate of Kellogg Community College in 2003 and Olivet College in 2005. John learned early on the value of hard work while stocking shelves and assisting customers at his family business, Herman's Marshall Hardware. Currently the legislative director of the Michigan Laborers District Council, Jonathan advocates for policies that hire local workers and rebuilds our crumbling infrastructure. Mr. Byrd is also actively involved in the community, having served on the Calhoun County Senior Millage Allocation Committee, Friends of the Albion Public Library Board, and the Kellogg Community College Foundation. His volunteer experience includes the Kalamazoo River Cleanup, Calhoun County Substance Abuse Council, the Battle Creek Metropolitan Area Mustache Society, and the Fountain Clinic of Marshall. Please welcome Jonathan Byrd.
Good evening, and thank you, Teresa, for the kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming tonight and supporting the important work of Kellogg Community College and the KCC Foundation. Of course, as I'm sure many of you know, without the Kellogg Community College Foundation, nights like these would not be possible. Let's take a moment and recognize the great leadership of Teresa Durham, the staff of the foundation, and its Board of Trustees. I was asked to come before you all tonight because I myself am a Gold Key Scholar and would likely not be here today if it wasn't for the generosity of so many of you in the room and the forward thinking of the foundation to invest in young people where the most impact can be made, their education. Interestingly, I owe my existence to Kellogg Community College. Is Gerald Blanchard here? Is Gerald? Well, I'm sure he'll appreciate this shameless plug. But you see, my parents actually met when they were both singing in the Kellogg Community College choir program. Nice. So my folks like to reminisce about, one of their first dates, being on a trip for the choir, and, some of it's kind of funny, but I won't go into that. But actually, I don't want to know, right? But anyways, this program was an important part of their college experience. But luckily, they became engaged, were married, and I came along shortly thereafter. So indeed, I owe my very existence to KCC, and certainly the expectations that my parents had for me to go to college was instilled because of the positive experience they had while attending our community college. 13 years ago, I was actually sitting at a table just like we are tonight, only I think we were at McCamley Plaza Hotel back then, waiting to give a speech on behalf of the incoming class of scholarship recipients for Kellogg Community College. Unfortunately, I didn't have a computer with Windows 95 on it anymore, so I couldn't go back and see my old speech, or else I might have tried to rehash that. But like most of the students here tonight, I was excited about beginning my college career, anxious about what college classes I needed to take, hopeful of making new friends, and driven to develop the skills I needed to begin my career. Previously, I had applied to other colleges, both in-state and out, but wanted to explore what educational options might be available locally. I remember going to meet with Cedric Harris. Some of the folks may remember him, and I'm sure most of the staff probably does. But he asked me what I wanted to be, and he could tell I was interested in government, politics, and education in my community. Most importantly, I felt after meeting with Cedric that the benefits to completing my degree at KCC certainly outweighed any potential advantage I might have at a four-year university. KCC offered intimate class sizes, outstanding extracurricular opportunities, and allowed me to invest myself in our community. Cedric and my local Marshall High School counselor, Iris Hausentrout, encouraged me to apply for the Gold Key Scholarship. This scholarship essentially paid for the first 2 years at KCC and provided money to transfer to a four-year college. Luckily, after going through all the interviews, filling out all the paperwork, and compiling all the recommendation letters, I was awarded the Gold Key, and I was sponsored by Elizabeth Binda. For those of you that are unaware of the contributions of Mrs. Binda, she was an incredible champion of Kellogg Community College. She served on the Board of Trustees for KCC, supported the arts at the college, and helped to establish the scholarship programs, the very scholarship programs, that all of the students in the room now benefit from. Through my years in college, I stayed in touch with Mrs. Binda, and her grace and wisdom helped inspire me to continue my service to our community. I'm very proud of the work the college is currently doing to the Binda Theater, even though some of the students might not appreciate all the construction and the fences and whatnot, but our renovation really is a fitting tribute to her legacy. However, my college career was not without its challenges. My freshman year at KCC, I was blessed with the birth of my first daughter, Hannah. Balancing 3 jobs, my educational endeavors, and my new family all at once required that I be focused and driven. Fortunately, I found time to start the Young Democrats of KCC, Film Club, the Student Michigan Education Association, and at one time served as president of all three clubs at the same time. But some of these clubs are actually still even active today. I participated in the honors program and Phi Theta Kappa at the college, tutored for the Upward Bound program, and graduated magna cum laude from KCC. Simply put, I loved my time at Kellogg Community College, and I could not have had the success at KCC without the support of so many staff, including those such as John Dilworth, Matt Samra, Pete Williams, Peg Stapleton, Liz Newmeyer, Steve Severin, Bob Sechrist, Holly McKee, Michelle Wright, Sarah Stout, Pearl McNutt, and Grendel Williams, and the countless others that took time to make my experience at KCC incredible. Thank you all, and if we could just give the staff of KCC a round of applause. But all of this would not have been possible without the Gold Key Scholarship. This award for me truly was a golden key to a successful future. Inspired by my experience at KCC, I transferred to Olivet College to continue my education and graduated in 2005 expecting to become a teacher, but life has its twists and turns. Shortly before graduating from Olivet, I was offered a job working for the Michigan Senate. At this time in Michigan, it was hard to find a job as a teacher, so while having a young family that needed health care, I jumped at the opportunity to go work in Lansing. While working in the halls of the Capitol, I witnessed firsthand how laws are created, but more importantly, I learned how important state funding is to education. After working for the Senate, I was hired by the Michigan Laborers Union to work on behalf of the 10,000 members, advocating for rebuilding our roads and bridges through employing local workers who get the job done safely and on time. In 2007, I was asked by several folks in the community to run for the board at KCC. At the tender age of 24, not much older than some of the folks here in the room, I knew that I had an uphill battle to be elected to the board. However, I'd also learned over the past several years how to campaign for office. I sent mail, advertised in the local paper, but most importantly, I knocked doors. While talking to neighbors and folks from our community, I realized the incredible impact KCC had, not just on myself, but on tons of folks all around our area. It seemed that nearly everyone I spoke with had either attended or knew somebody that had attended our college and realized even more that impact. Luckily, I was elected, along with my colleagues Reba Harrington and Brian Heiss, to serve on the board. Being one of the youngest community college trustees in the country was a humbling thought, and I took my commitment to the college and our community very seriously. Unfortunately, at the time, the KCC and the board were going through a difficult period and were constantly in the paper, bickering and fighting with one another. I remember one meeting where a trustee slammed their shoe on the table. Other meetings where folks argued incessantly and thought to myself, we could all do better. I started working with all trustees on the board and was asked to serve as chair. Immediately, I went to work rebuilding relationships with the college administration and with my board colleagues, while also listening to staff and community members. Over time, and after a few elections, the board was able to develop and become the board we are today, one that works together with a sincere and mutual respect for all viewpoints, driving toward the common goal of providing the best opportunity possible for our students and never losing focus on what truly matters to those we serve. If I could take a moment, have our board members been introduced?
Yes.
Have they? Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure they were as well. But it's good to see you all. And as a board, we are proud of our accomplishments. Kellogg Community College has one of the lowest tuition rates in the state while providing high-quality educational access for everyone in our community. We've expanded job training programs to ensure that when students are ready to leave our campus, they have the skills and tools they need to compete in an ever-changing and complex job market. There's another important program that I'm particularly proud of. Who here can tell me KCC's middle name? Community. That's right. Kellogg Community College was one of the first colleges in the nation to require a service learning program in order to graduate. And for me, leadership has always been about service. Good leaders inspire people to serve and come together for the greater good of all. All the students in this room are here and have won the scholarships they earn today because they have some sort of community service. As the future leaders of our community, realize that the KCC Foundation has provided you with a gift, a free, or mostly free, education. I know that when all of you are ready to leave our campus, you will be equipped with the knowledge and dedication to go forth and make a positive impact in whatever you choose to do. Now, I'm a millennial, barely, but I'm a millennial. I'm also a Marvel fan, and I thought about, what kind of quote could I leave you with, and I was looking at, some different stuffy philosophers. I apologize, Peg Stapleton, if you're in the room, but I thought it might be better to maybe quote Stan Lee, who's the creator of Marvel, and created Spider-Man, and he once wrote, "With great power comes great responsibility." And I want you all to remember that this gift of free education provides you the power to be a success. I'm here to ask all of you to give something back for the gift that the college and the foundation have provided to you. Can you do that? Yes. What? Yes. Very good. All right. In closing, I want all of you, everyone in the room, to acknowledge the contributions that KCC has made to our community, or has made to make our community the great place it is to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you all for your time this evening, and I wish you all health, happiness in the future. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Next, we are going to hear from 3 of our scholarship recipients, and the first one to tell her story is Anna Banister. Anna is a 2014 graduate of Kellogg Community College and currently attends Grand Valley State University. She received the Virginia M. Hensley Education or Healthcare 2-year transfer scholarship for the highest achieving KCC graduate. Virginia could not be here with us this evening, but the students who have benefited from Virginia's generous gift for this and a Gold Key scholarship recently met with her for brunch. Anna is a medic with the Michigan Army National Guard. And in her letter of recommendation, Sergeant Nicole Marshall shares that Anna has always stood out as a hard worker and leader among her peers. She is not only knowledgeable, but also extremely passionate about her field and is always striving to better herself, both physically and mentally. She always shows up ready to work with a positive attitude, and it is my pleasure to welcome Anna Banister.
Good evening. Thank you for that awesome introduction. I appreciate that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay. It is so wonderful to be here tonight and to get the privilege of sharing a bit about myself and my personal story and the huge impact that Kellogg Community College has made on not only my education, but my life as a whole. First, a little background on myself, as Teresa kind of already introduced me, but I graduated from Hastings High School in May of 2011 after enlisting in the Army National Guard, November of my senior year. I left for basic training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, about a month after graduation. I know what most of you are probably thinking right now. That girl is in the military. Are you for real? I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten that from people. But I can assure you that although I may not fit the stereotype, I indeed made it through training and managed to hold my own in an environment that was predominantly male. I joined the military for 2 main reasons. My number one reason, honestly, was to give back to my country. I am a huge supporter of the military, and I believe that what they do is so important, and so I wanted to do my part. The second reason was one that many of us can relate to, and is that I could not afford college. It's very expensive, so I thought this is a good way to do both. And I am now wrapping up my 4th year in the Guard, going on my 5th year, and I wouldn't trade the experience for anything in the world. My job, as Teresa mentioned, as they call it, MOS in the Army, is 68 Whiskey, or a combat medic. I specifically chose that job because I wanted one that would benefit me in my future medical career. I've learned many valuable lessons during my military experience, and one is I've gained a huge appreciation for the respect of other people and the importance of responsibility in my daily life. I've also seen the diversity the beauty and the diversity of people. And I've worked with soldiers from all over the country, all over the world, from different backgrounds and places. And it's really amazing, the kind of stories that you can hear. And when we all learn to embrace our diversities and our differences, they quickly become assets that we can use to strengthen the team as a whole. So, what you've all been waiting for. The dawn of my college education began in January of 2012, about a week after I returned home from my military training. I enrolled as a part-time student at KCC for my first semester, only taking 2 classes. I'd always known that I wanted to study medicine, but I wasn't sure how I was going to pay for it. And unfortunately, the Guard, even though that did help, it doesn't cover close to the amount of money that a 4-year university costs. So KCC seemed like a perfect place to start, and it did. It proved to be the best place for me to begin my college career and to prep me for success in all of my future endeavors. Community college is such a smart decision and smart move, both financially and educationally. I'm a more well-rounded person because of my time here. The advice and instruction I received from the professors at Kellogg proved to be invaluable when I transferred to my 4-year university. On my last semester at KCC, I actually applied for all of the transfer scholarships I was eligible for through the KCC Foundation. I really did not think that I would be so blessed as to receive the largest one. I'm going to be completely honest. It was midnight when I opened my scholarship letter, and I ran around my entire house at midnight and woke up every single member, all 5 of them, of my family to tell them the good news. I was beyond ecstatic. I am so, so grateful. The unbelievably generous scholarship that I was awarded has honestly changed my life. I do not have the same financial burden that most juniors in college have today. I can honestly say, even my roommates, it's amazing. I'm able to concentrate on my studies without having to worry about how I'm going to pay for it. I'm even exploring the option of studying abroad next summer in England, and that is something I never would have even been able to think of if I had not been awarded such a generous scholarship. So none of this would have been possible without the wonderful people at Kellogg Community College, and Virginia Hensley, of course, my scholarship donor. I find myself advising high school students about the benefits of going to a community college like Kellogg and sharing about how it helped me to get where I am today. When I'm asked, you have a full ride? Like, how on earth did you manage to do that? I tell them there's 3 main things for me personally. My amazing community college, 2, a lot of hard work and late nights, and 3, a lot of prayer. I'm currently a junior at Grand Valley State University. This is my first semester, and I absolutely love it. I transferred there after earning my associate's degree at KCC, and I'm majoring in allied health sciences with a pre-physician's assistant emphasis. I plan to go to PA school after I graduate from Grand Valley, and it is my goal to work in a hospital very similar to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital in Grand Rapids. I have a huge passion for children, and it is my goal to really make a difference in their lives and to help them find health and happiness in a world that can seem so dark sometimes. So I want to say thank you to Kellogg Community College, the KCC Foundation, Virginia Hensley, and all of the professors at Kellogg that helped me get to this very moment where I can stand in front of you and share what I consider a partially written success story. I have told many of my peers that college is possible for those of you that can work hard and are determined to get there. And you have to take one day at a time, even if it seems overwhelming. So I will leave you with one word that I believe exemplifies leadership. And I believe that word is humility. A great leader will never ask their followers to do something that they would not do themselves, and they will allow their actions to speak for themselves. True respect follows those who deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Edward DeFilio is a non-traditional student, having graduated from Mount Clemens High School in 1978 and Northwood University. He has returned to college and is currently in the nursing program. He is the recipient of the Bellis Memorial Scholarship, the Institute for Learning and Retirement Scholarship in honor of Dr. G. Edward Herring, and the newly created Battle Creek AMBUCS Veterans Scholarship. KCC advisor TJ Moll shared in her scholarship recommendation letter the following: Ed's ability to think outside the box and find creative solutions has been the cornerstone of his life, and biology chemistry instructor Susan Sawyer says she certainly believes he has what it takes to be successful in any program he chooses to pursue. Please welcome Ed DeFilio.
Thank you, Teresa. I'll share a little bit of my journey in life. But before I get there, I'll summarize everything that I've had led up to this point by one of Jimmy Buffett's songs, He Went to Paris. This is a quick summation of how things have gone for me. Some of it's been magic, some of it's been tragic, but I have had a good life all the way. Like Anna, I am too a veteran. I spent 7.5 years in the Navy. 6 of that was overseas, 3 on board a ship traveling around the Mediterranean and the Adriatic Oceans or seas. I spent a couple tours in Lebanon during the Lebanon conflict. And I also spent 3 years working with NATO. And also, like Anna had mentioned, there's nothing like the experience you get in the military, working with other people from all different walks of life. Going overseas, you're actually ambassadors of the United States. And being in the Navy, we went to several different ports. So got to meet people from Spain, France, Yugoslavia, Israel, Egypt. And all those experiences have made me a better person all the way around. My journey, how I got here to KCC, 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. I also watched my mother, pass away from kidney failure. I was the only sibling that was there watching her die and taking her last breath. I lost a great job that I had, and eventually I lost my home. The complications of the PTSD and all those other factors that were going on simultaneously weighed on me very heavily and took a very negative toll on me. I'm not proud to say, but on my 52nd birthday, I attempted to take my own life. Fortunately, I did not. After that, I sought treatment at the VA Medical Center here in Battle Creek, went through a program about PTSD and how to get through all this kind of stuff. And it was there that experience with the doctors and the nurses and watching the doctors and nurses take care of my mother, that this idea of becoming a nurse took, we'll say, fruition. At the time that I was there, I found out about a VA program that would help veterans who were not employed to get retrained. It's called VRAP. From there, I looked at the possibilities of what educational opportunities or which career fields that I could go into, and nursing was one of them. And I thought that this is the perfect time and the perfect opportunity. So once I got out of the program, I enrolled here at KCC, and in January of 2013, I started classes, paid at that time by the VA, and took all the prerequisites that were necessary to become a nurse. August of this year, I started my first nursing class. And if it wasn't for the assistance of the KCC Foundation and its donors, I wouldn't be here today. So I would like to say thank you, first and foremost, to the Learning and Retirement Scholarship in honor of G. Edward Deming, the Bellis Memorial Scholarship, and the AMBUCS Veterans Scholarship for their financial support. They are helping me with the tuition, the lab fees, and purchasing the books. Upon completion of my associate's degree, I would like to go back and work at the VA and be there to help my brothers and sisters in uniform, work on their issues. the physical, the mental, and emotional aspects of serving in the military. Also, what I plan on doing after completion is working on my master's degree in becoming a clinical nurse specialist. In retrospect, the seeds for becoming a nurse were unknowingly planted in me a long time ago, as if I was kind of like on autopilot. Since the age of 19, I've been serving and caring for others. You look at my military experience, to me, that's the ultimate sacrifice that somebody can do, is one, serving the country and serving and protecting people they don't even know, which is something that a lot of people really do not get or understand unless you've been a member of the military. And that's where I want to go. And in closing, I would like to pass on a few things to my fellow students from what I have learned along the way. First of all, never give up on your dreams. They will change as you grow older. Those of you who are older, like myself, you will know what I'm talking about. Never stop learning, regardless of your age. And lastly, be a leader and understand that leadership is an opportunity to serve others. It is not something that self-serving people look upon. It is kind of like you're thrust into it, you're given it to it unexpectedly and not knowingly. It is a privilege to direct, shape, and focus the potential of people. A few of the principles that I have led in my life is respect, and respect must be earned. Humility, you have to use it and get it. Service, you must provide it. Gratitude, realize it. Humor, find it in every aspect of your life. And in conclusion, I want to thank the KCC staff, administration, and the scholarship donors for giving all of us who are here the opportunity to pursue our goals and dreams. So thank you once again for allowing me this opportunity to speak and to receive the scholarship so I can continue my dream. Thank you.
Our final student scholarship presenter is Dionna Eggleston. Can everyone hear me okay? Oh, good. Just sounded like it was a little slow. Sounded like it was a little quiet. Dionna is a 2014 graduate of Harper Creek High School and the Battle Creek Area Math and Science Center. As a Gold Key Scholar, she is a member of the KCC Honors Program, along with 55 fellow Gold Key and Board of Trustees Scholar recipients. Math and Science Center counselor Linda Barnett stated in her recommendation letter that Dionna is a person of integrity. She quietly leads by example. She is accepting of others and is willing to give anybody a chance. She is a planner and has meticulously set out to reach her goals of college, of reaching a goal of her college diploma. Above all, she has a willingness to persevere. Please welcome Dionna Eggleston.
Okay, if my face turns beet red, don't worry, I'm just really nervous. Well, good evening, everybody. As Teresa said, my name's Dionna Eggleston, and I'm a Gold Key Scholarship recipient. I was awarded the Elizabeth Binda Gold Key Scholarship, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. I had chosen to go to KCC after high school before I even got the call that I had received the scholarship. I chose KCC because it's close to home, so I wouldn't have to pay for housing. It has great transfer programs, and it's not an extremely new place. Because if you move to a four-year college, like right after high school, you live in a new home, you meet a lot of new people, and I'm an only child, so I have a strong connection to my home, and I wouldn't be able to move on without, having a ton of homesickness. And so I figured KCC would be the perfect thing for me to just take it one step at a time. So I go to KCC, meet new people, and then after I get comfortable with the college feels, then I can move on to a four-year university.
The only problem I had was funding. I was relying on scholarships and grants because my family can't afford college. When Teresa called me to inform me of my acceptance of the scholarship, I almost squealed in the phone because I was so happy. The first thing I did was I ran down to because I was at school on lunch period actually. So I just ran right down to my counselor's office and was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I got the scholarship. And to my surprise, they all knew already. So I was like, oh, okay. So after I went to my counselors, I called my mom up and I told her the good news. And she was at work, and we both started bawling our eyes out. Tears of joy, obviously. And there's really no amount of words I can express how much I appreciate given this opportunity of having this scholarship. I'm the first person in my family to attend college, and it has given me the opportunity to further my education. My original plan once I got to college was to become a small animal veterinarian, but the older I got, the more I realized I wouldn't be able to do the things necessary to be a veterinarian, specifically the euthanizing part. If I ever had to put an animal to sleep, I would probably just stand there bawling, and that's not very professional. So there I was in high school, not knowing what career I wanted to do after my senior year. And then one semester, my junior year, I took a web design class just because I needed the high school credit to graduate. And in that class, we mainly used Adobe programs such as Photoshop and Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is a website building program. And to my surprise, I really liked the class. So my teacher noticed that I really liked doing that kind of stuff, and he asked me to be an independent study student with him the next semester. And I accepted that. I can't think of the word right now. But my big project the next semester as an independent study student was to remodel one of his old websites, because he did his back in like 2006, and websites have completely changed the way they do now. So I remodeled his old website, and to my surprise, he actually put it online at the end of the semester. So one of the websites I made is actually online for everybody to see right now, and I was really proud of that. I actually made the website from scratch too, so all the pictures I, enhanced in Photoshop, and all the borders and stuff I made myself. So, it was a very time-consuming project, and I'm really proud of that. In addition to web design, I was introduced to graphic design and videography, which I also really like doing. But at Harper Creek High School, there's this little video news announcement thing we do, and it's called HGTV, and that stands for Harper Creek Television.
I apologize.
Sorry.
Switch this one. Sorry.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. HGTV stands for Harper Creek Television. It's a lot like local news on TV, where they have the anchors and then they go do live stuff and videotape special segments. We did all that stuff. We had students that would be the anchors, and they would say they would say the normal everyday announcements, and then we would go somewhere around the school and videotape special segments for like dances and important scholarship opportunities that are coming up. And after I sometimes videotape the special segments, and I always videotape the anchoring. But after all of the videotaping was done, you put it into iMovie, and iMovie you edit the parts out that you don't need and put it all together to make a big project. And I was the one that did all of that. And I really liked doing all of that. And then sometimes we would have raw footage from our follies or graduation day, and we made DVDs out of those. So my teacher really liked the way I edited things, so he would just videotape stuff and then give me all of it to edit and then put into the DVD format. So actually at the end of our graduation day DVD it says edited by Dionna Eggleston, so I really like that. So I became very fond of web design and videography, which helped me determine what I wanted to go to college for. I learned most of my leadership experience through HGTV because I was the one in charge of most of the production. Before HGTV, I was usually a follower. I hid in the shadows. I didn't give myself the light of day to believe I could be a leader. After I found HGTV, I was teaching others how to edit footage and video record. I was speaking up if I didn't have an idea, if I had a different idea than somebody else, and I actually was creating my own ideas. I was being a leader. To me, being a leader means setting a good example and helping people when they need it. HGTV ended up changing my life for the better. It gave me confidence in myself that I could do anything if I set my mind to it. So with my career chosen and more confidence, I can move on through college without the stress of deciding what I want to be, because I know what I want to be and I know I can be it, as long as I have confidence in myself. After KCC, I plan to move on to Western Michigan University and earn my bachelor's degree. With my bachelor's degree, I can get a good job and help my family achieve financial stability. Right now, I actually live in a trailer, and my mom is a waitress, so it's not a very good income. She's a single parent too. So that's why I really relied on scholarships and grants, because I didn't have a savings that was started when I was born or anything like that. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity, as it has opened many doors for my future, and I definitely would not be here without it. Thank you.
Well, as is always the case for those who have been here before, the highlight of our evening is always the speeches, the testimonials we hear from our student speakers and our alumni speaker. It really does begin to allow you to experience what so many of our students do. The challenges they overcome, the opportunities that were created for them by the scholarships that they received coming here. And let me assure you that similar stories could be told by all of the students here this evening. In fact, now I would like all of the students here this evening to stand, and we would like to acknowledge your accomplishment. Well, I'd like to thank everyone here for attending this evening. I would like to one more time thank the donors. I'd also like to thank our musical guests who are going to play as we exit the room this evening, and all of the KCC staff that contribute to putting an event like this together. So thank you very much. We enjoyed the evening. I hope you enjoyed the evening, and we'll see you all again next year.